Right, good evening. I'm back with some League of Empires casting here, and we're going to see Cunning, Linguist versus Distant Lands. It's the 4th division of League of Empires, and they're playing Arena for this one. Now, I have to admit I didn't double check whose home map this was, but in general, teams play each other twice. And each team gets to play their home map, and you have a limited set of civs and home maps and everything in the rules for League of Empires. So this is Arena, usually pretty slow start. We see people deleting their starting stone walls here, and yeah, the common meta is just going different sets of populations, but you usually go for a fast cast stage time and then build your army from there. There will usually be some fighting for the relics because that's some bonus gold to take, and generally fighting for map control and trying to eliminate the other players as the game goes on. So now let's look into the teams here. I hope I'm not messing up the names here, but I believe Oxen is with Cunning Linguist, and yeah, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. That's why I would prefer a clan tag for one of the names, just to indicate which clan each team is belonging to. But anyway, let's talk about the civs and choices here. So pretty standard arena style civilization here for Oxen on the left side flank for his team. Burmese, they have great monks. They're considered a monk and elephant civilization, but they also have a unique unit, the Arabai, which is a cavalry archer that deals bonus damage to buildings. Actually, hello Andwen, nice to see you tuning in.
Yay.
Yeah, so they get Burmese get Arabai from their castle. That's the unique unit. You could use that if you have the numbers. Say you make 10, 15, 20 of them, you should have a pretty easy time breaking through the stone walls of your enemy, and if it happens early enough, you could have the element of surprise and really get some good raids in. A common play seen on Arena recently is even double Castle Arabai, and with Backstone here for Oxen, he could actually conceal the fact that he's going for multiple castles to set up. If that's his plan here, we'll have to remain to see that, but Arabai definitely a potential play for Burmese, but they have strong infantry as well. Extra attack from Fuel Age onwards, they get +1 attack on their infantry units. That goes for halberdiers and sportsmen. And they could go elephants or monks. Their monk technologies are even cheaper, so that's going to be facilitating their relic hunt if they go for that during games at some point. Now for the pocket here for Oxen's team, we have a Little Wing Tom playing as Britons. Now Britain's pocket, if you watch the high-level games, you don't usually see Britons as pocket on any map really, because Britons overall not that mobile team. They rely a lot on their archers. They have probably the best archer in the game in the Longbowman, so from their castle, and great arbalists. Their civ bonus is +1 range for archers in Castle Age, and another +1 in the Imperial Age, plus an Imperial Age extra range from the castle. So you could have an additional, you could have an 11 range total for the Britons. Archers like Longbowman has even one more, so you would have an archer with 12 range. It's pretty sick actually, but archers not nearly as mobile as cavalry civs, so you can't really run around the map with archers unless you're Mayans and have plumed archers and take fights. That's what's so good about having a pocket being a cavalry civ usually, because you would want to have knights so you could run to either side and help your teammates out in their fighting, where they would usually go some kind of archer unit. So on the other flank for Cunning Linguist here is Pinky299 playing Malay. Now Malay, great arena civ, mainly because they go up through the ages 66% faster as stated here. So you could really use that to your advantage on Arena, either by going more population overall and have a stronger economy going into Castle Age, or simply by going up at somewhat the same population as everyone else, and you'd still be earlier up because you research the next stage faster. Looks like Pinky wants to push in some deer here as well for some food boost. Taking a lot of sheep here now. Has already eaten his 2 boars, I believe, and with 6 on wood. So probably also setting up for a fast castle, as is pretty standard meta for Arena. Now let's go to the other team. This is Distant Lands, if I'm not mistaken. We have Magnificent Duty here on the right side, like with Mayans. Mayans, they have a great boon. They have an economy bonus in that their resources last longer. So the gold, the resources in general within the base will last longer during the game. So it's a bit of an illusion here on the gold. I mean, they collect just as much as usual, but it will just take longer until the golds and everything, all resources are depleted for Mayans. So horrible sim for Forest Nothing, where you need to chop all the trees. Great sim for any other map, especially land maps with potential mobility with Eagle Warriors, as they can make use of late game for raids and for countering archers, and also their unique unit, Plumed Archers, real fast running archer unit produced from their castles. A bit more limited range, much shorter range than the British Longbowman, but still extremely mobile, almost to the point of cavalry. So Mayans arguably mobile civilization, but with less tanky units like the usual cavalry units you might see. So in a pocket position here, we have Anduin playing as Franks. Franks could take map control easily with some early castles. Looks like a castle drop is in the planning here already for Anduin, unless he's only setting up for the multiple TC boom here. It's a 26 population on the way to the feudal age here, as most players are, except for Pinky, going actually with a few more population, or simply just struggling a bit for food to click up with Malay here. It's lagging a bit behind. But Frank's castles, and they have among the best paladins in the game. There's some great mobilities to have for the pocket position. So I already think that Distant Lands here are in a better position, having Frank's pockets as opposed to Britain's pocket on the other side. That mobility is really going to play off for them. Brings in some sheep here as well for his teammates. That's nicely done. Will boost their economy a little bit here. Tasty Potato with the Britons as well, but on the flank side here. That's fantastic news for the Britons player here that is up against the Burmese, because if the Burmese player goes for Arambai, the Britons archers in general counter Arambai, especially in the Imperial Age with Arbalest, but Britons with their superior range bonuses will have an even easier time to use the hit and run process to stop the Arambai from reaching them before they get shot down by archers. So players are reaching the feudal age here, and we see our Frank's pocket here on Distant Lands already being the first one up to the castle age, slightly before the other pocket, the Britain's player. And let's look at population setup. There's also 2 more villagers for Island, so that's going to work wonders for him in terms of economy here in for the long run. It's you have 2 more villagers gathering resources going up, and still you're going to be slightly earlier than your opposing pocket, so that is going to buy them an advantage here. Now it's Tasty Potato dropping his blacksmith market, preparing for the castle age click as well. Let's look at the players' ecos here. Oxen going for even a little bit more extended Dark Age here, so that does suggest a double castle Arambai drop here, because already with 8 on stone not even clicked the castle age yet. So that could be two castles on the more of the defensive side at the home base here, preventing any breaches, and then having a double castle Arambai production. This is something you don't see a lot on Arena Low. When a tree is part of the wall like this, a straggler tree, you could actually go for the villager, just chop it down, place a building foundation, a one-tile building like the palisade foundation, and then you could just simply walk straight through. And I mean, straggler tree laming isn't allowed in the tournament, but if it's part of a wall, you are allowed to do so. So we see the castle ages kicking in here for the most players. It's going to be Oxen, the latest one up here, I think. No, not latest, actually. Pinky, the Malay players, surprisingly enough, Oh yeah, he's running away, of course, he's Malay, so he's going up faster. But yeah, players kicking, Castle H is kicking in here, and we'll have to pay a little bit of attention here as we see an archery range. Is it hidden away here? It's perfectly hidden away. Just look at this line of sight here for Pinky. This has to be well thought through for Little Wing Tom here. With the range just outside of the wall's line of sight here. And we have a follow, new follower in Big Tuna. Thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate it. No, I'm messing things up. I'm so used to seeing Britons as flank, so I was expecting some flank aggression here, but this is of course the Britain's pocket, placing his production buildings to the right hand side to be closer to help out his Malay ally here. So sorry about that one. Couple of ranges and a secret workshop going up here, and the Malay flank is going for the elephants. So we'll be seeing an elephants and archers push here. This could be really strong in the Castle Age, because the elephants are generally very tanky, and monks are the best counter to them, but with ranged opportunity, as the Britons have, you could use the archers to snipe both pikemen and monks. So this could be a real tough push to handle. Meanwhile, we're seeing two castles, not just one, but two castles going up for Oxen here. Has reached the Castle Age, obviously. And yeah, it's going to begin the Amber production as soon as possible. Antoine here in the pocket position with 2 TCs, dropping a stable 3 TCs, sorry. And thanks Big Tuna, I appreciate the feedback. It's yeah, it's a process of learning. I'm trying to catch the action as well as I can, and also, although I am Norwegian, I really enjoy speaking other languages, specifically English, I would say, because that's kind of a challenge as well, so I appreciate the feedback. There was some good games as well, absolutely. So, also I know, of course, the Norwegian Bastards team very well. Play with them regularly. We have a Discord for the Norwegian community. So that's, yeah, it was good to see the set going to 1-1 there. You both did a great job. So we see some army protection here. It's Magnificent Duty with the mines here going straight into the Eagle Warriors here. I think that's a decent play against. He will be needing some halberdiers again as well against the elephants or monks or whatnot here. But having eagles, that's certainly going to help against the crossbows in the mix here. Oh, Moonwalking Scout. That's fun. So Iron Pipe production, look at the militaries here. Pinky with 16 by now. That's pretty scary amount of elephants in my opinion here. So this is the guy who's seen this. It's either the Legend of the Liar video or has seen Hamza Krumsa's 20 elephants in 20 minutes by Malay here. So we're not quite at 20 minutes, we're at 22, which is still a ridiculous mass of elephants at this point in the game. 17 battle elephants, no upgrades whatsoever just yet, but imagine the collected HP here is probably well above 2,500 here. It's 10,500, almost 5,000 HP I think of this, so imagine archers trying to take out these, or even eagle warriors. So I think this is where it's going to go down. Here comes some Aranbai as well. Are they going for the 3v1 here? Oh boy. Aranbai, elephants, archers, they're really going to focus pretty hard on the one side here. Here comes a defensive castle from the mines player though. He probably might be thinking about the plumed archers as well. Archery range for upgrades or additional archers here, but oops. Let's see his point of view. What do you know about what's going on there? You're up against Malay, you're just peacefully booming away, getting your eco going, dropping a castle, and boom! 10 Aranbai. And 11 crossbows and a ridiculous amount of battle elephants to top it off. So let's have a little flaring his location now. Some ranges are up. That's going to help against these. It's not necessarily going to help against Britain's crossbow with the extra range. And elephants to top it all off to act as a meat shield against everything here. I guess the elephants would easily win against eagle warriors here as well, even without any upgrades on these elephants from what I can tell. Aranbai has gotten some upgrades here, trying to break through. I think If you entice the elephants to the gate and send the Iron Bite to attack the gate as well, there's no way this gate stays up. Meanwhile though, some fighting for the relics here, not really, and this is the only place the action is going down. Problem for distant lands here would be that the general military numbers are lower. Armby going for the buildings here, elephants going for the gate. This is looking suspiciously deadly for magnificent duty here. Eagle warriors coming in, I guess they should test crossbows because that's their best bet. They would be probably do decent against Armby as well. But meanwhile, look at Hanwen's situation here. He's booming. Philly has the free boom because his flank is being 3-1 at the moment. So significant villager lead here that could work out to his team's favor in the end. After all, getting the free boom as Frank's getting to the paladins unobstructed could be huge, but not at the cost of losing allied forces here. Magnificent duty with 34 villagers, only 21 villagers though, so he has some army presence for sure here. As a defensive castle protecting at least the gold, could maybe place some foundation here and wall the elephant aggression out temporarily at least. And looking down here, we're looking at Tasty Potato with the Britons here. He's going to be forced to take the long way over to try and help out Magnificent Duty here, unless he wants to go for some forward aggression. Looks like he might be going for the pocket or for one of the players as well. No defensive castles for the Malay or the Britons player here, so there should be damage potential for Blue here going over to the others. But this mass TC is down, that's 1 out of 2 TCs for Magnificent Duty here. Did keep the walls up here, but that's not going to stop the Armby from tearing it down. 26 villagers now, that's like 1/4 of the his pockets though, so the overall villager count is actually not half bad for distant lands still here. Yeah, fleeing the scene for the Mayans player here, that makes sense. You want to try and re-establish somewhere else, but he risks being chased by some elephants here as well. Well, Pinky has really been working on that Malay elephants build. This is impressive amount of elephants even at this stage in the game. We're closing in on 30 minutes, but still. So Tasty Potato trying to counterattack here. He must know that this is a very all-in from Pinky here. With only 1 TC, not everything to equal. Pretty exposed here if he can get in. And that should mean that if he takes Pinky off food and gold, that means no more elephants. Villagers fleeing here, some Franks monks coming to help, and knights as well. With the +2 armor, that helps a little bit, but you'll need still need a lot more masses. 21 RB is decent, but you're up against a pretty significant amount overall here though. Britain's crossbows now going for Pinky space, but now quite a few elephants here. Could be enough to challenge here. There's some tribute being sent. That's borderline, that's actually breaking the rules here, because it's maximum 300 sling before Imperial Age, but I don't think anyone will bother about challenging that rule for 39 extra there. That's basically just sending, it could be just a misclick trying to send 300 and ending up sending all of your wood, so that really shouldn't matter in the long run. But there are some rules against slinging here. 1 elephant has been converted. Still pretty massive crossbows remaining here. They could take out the pikes easily here, and the elephants will probably take out this castle, and Magnificent Duty space should be up for grabs. Knights trying to challenge the Armby here. Only +1 attack though. You don't usually get the +2 attack this early, and is also being outmassed here. So, but does chase the Armby away, so the Armby won't be killing everything here. Meanwhile, on the Malay side here, some nice mangonel hits from Little Wing Tom here on the archers of Tasty Potato. Trying to his best to micro down some elephants here. Tasty Potato has more reinforcements though. He is with 37 military total and is maybe going to try and push on the Britain's pocket here. You see Magnificent Duty going for a reboom in the back here. You could do that behind your stone walls, it's just at the cost of being in a very cramped position. Here I think Pinky could try and focus on the Armby to keep the Armby numbers down. Tries to run, maybe has some reinforcements to catch up with. Oh, but look at the massive iron bar down here as well. Oxen with 20 iron bar near Tasty Potato walls, and even being Britons, this could be tough for Tasty Potato to hold if Oxen comes here with all of his Arbalest mass at this point. Arbalest, I mean iron by mass at this point. We see Britain's Cosmos here with the extra range. That means the Iron Bar most likely can't range them with their 5 range only. They will get a range upgrade in the Imperial Age if you get to Elite Iron Bar, but that should be far away from Oxen with his current pretty all-in setup. Is with 75 builders though, so it's not that bad, but still pretty far away from the Imperial Age kick. Meanwhile, Anduin is 66% Imperial Age. Has a great eco to back it, 109 builders, but Magnificent 2D unfortunately down to 11 builders here and has a serious rebooming job to do. Look at this mass of elephants here for Malay, but imagine Imperial Age is kicking in for Anduin here. Anduin could challenge the elephants at some point here, considering that the Malay player probably will be staying in Cast Age for a while, unless he's idling for Imperial Age now. And once you get Cavalier and Paladin, you would have an easier time challenging Malay Battle Elephants because they only get the first armor upgrade for their cavalry. Decent mix of pikes here as well, but that's not going to help against Britain's Arbalest here. So definitely Tom, he's been peacefully booming at home, getting his eco sorted. He's in Imperial Age, as is the other pocket. Defensive castle here for Tasty Potato. It's just the builder count that worries me the most here. Magnificent 2D, obviously not in a spot to contribute much for its team at this moment. And Ogedai one says no Vulcan arrow for probably for Tasty Potato, but that's in. And yeah, Little Tom with upgrades here as well. Halberdier is in, though. That's going to help a lot for Alman here, unless the Iron Bai will be able to clean those up. Meanwhile, Knights are dying over here to both Arbalest and Elephants here, so it's hard to say who's taking the better engagement here. Frank's castle, cheap castles paying off though, right on the stone here to be able to maybe even place a mining camp later and get more castles up. Look at these 3 castles really fortifying his base here now. Also a university on the gold here. That would look like the perfect TC spot, but that's in fact a university. That's perfectly fine. Of course, has the mining camp here. Cavalier is in with the appropriate upgrades here. And when let's have a look at their eco, that's probably going to be great for the coming units creation here. And if you compare this to Pinky, which has this massive elephant, once he loses them, he will struggle to replace the army with something here. Dropping more TCs here now on the market. Market could be for trade as well for the players, but I don't see any market in Oxen space just yet. Tasty Potato in Imperial Age as well, now using Arbalest here to take out Oxen's town center here, and could easily use the Arbalest to diminish the Iron Bind numbers here as well. Nice job splitting up the... I'm saying Arbalest, but it's still Crossbowman. Sorry about that one, he just reached Imperial and is in the process of researching Arbalest here. Great job with the Crossbowman here, is still going to take great hits here. Could opt for some hit and run. Looks like Oxen is patrolling here and will be getting lots of kill because the Iron Bay are within range here. KD for Oxen 120 to 62, pretty great KD there. And then with the Halberdier spam is taking out some elephants, so KD looks negative here, but that's a lot of the Halberdiers in the mix as well, and they die easily to the Arbalests here. Once Paladin is in for Anduin, he should be able to counter both of these compositions here actually with the proper mass, because yeah, he has quicker mobility, but look at this choke point here, more or less choking in all of the cavalry units here, but at least the castle might be delayed or denied here from Little Wing Tom. No joke with Britons with all the appropriate range upgrades though, and bonuses. 5+6 range for the Arbalest now. That makes it tough even for Cavalier to get close before they can get wiped out here. I think Elephant masses are staying pretty decent as well, so Pinky and Little Wing Tom doing great staying together here. Tasty Potato has been losing lots of numbers here, but has, yeah, is with 15 military at the moment. But has a healthy production going on. Has after all been more or less untouched at home as well. pretty heavily on wood and gold here. And the Magnificent 2D doing his best to boom back into the game now at 25 villagers, and at some point could contribute with something. I mean, any army mass to distract the opponent is going to help. Imperial Age will be coming in for Oxen as well, with 100 villagers exactly here. I think he will... Did he lose the... No, the army is still here. That's 11 military left for Oxen, so has lost some numbers here. I think an army switch might be needed. We might be needing Oxen as Burmese here to go for halberdiers against Frank's cavalry units, because our man will certainly won't do anything against our lists here. Burmese skirmishers are among the worst in the game, and you usually don't make skirmishers in team games anyway. But this is for the moment just an Arambai sacrifice here. So I think distant lands here are benefiting a lot from actually from their flank being 3v1 here, because Frank's pocket got a free boom, and Tasty Potato also pretty untouched in West. I think actually, thinking back on the 2v1 up there, that Oxen, even though he's up against Britons, if he'd used his Iron Biomasses early on to try and break in and deal damage to Tasty Potato, he could be in his team could be in a better spot, because you would be dealing some damage, or at least distracting the economy of Tasty Potato. Looking at the scores here, even with Magnificent to the more or less out of the game here, still with 31 villagers and no military, they are with top score here. Great KDs, I'd say, for both teams, though considering that the most losses here are trash units for Anwen. So they're hanging in there. I think the eco tabs are more healthy overall for Oxen's team here though. And Arbalest masses this side of Tasty Potato looking threatening again here. Let's get the army numbers back here. So overall army count slightly higher for Cunning Linguist here. One castle will go down as well, and yeah, cannot commit to Iron Buy anymore. Even don't think they'll go for elite. No upgrades, no production whatsoever at the moment here. Frank's Paladins on this side, running into a mass of elephants yet again. Still 38 elephants here for Pinky. Now with attack upgrades as well. Won't be getting any more defense, but that's something that looks like Oxen is going for the elite Iron Buy. So as long as it doesn't run into Britain's Arbalest, he could be okay. There's a flare in the middle here as well. One TC of Little Wing Tom that Anwen might be considering to raid here. Let's see here, Arbalest from Britain's nicely put into place here to deal with the remaining Iron Buy here from Oxen. He's only with 15 military after all, is actually not committing to Iron Buy at all. Maybe we'll have to invest into Burmese elite skirmers after all. He would get elephants, or I mean Burmese had great elephants as well, maybe that would be a play against Britain's archers for a late game, but that's of course a ridiculously expensive investment, and Oxen's eco can't support elephants at the moment. Huge fight going down in the middle here as Frank's Paladins and Halberdiers against the elephants here, and if you clear out this elephant mass, things are going to look so much brighter. They take time to replenish, and you have to have a great eco to support them as well. I'm surprised to see nobody trying to take the main goals of Magnificent 2D here, especially from Cunning Linguist's team here, to try and actually take some of the resources they have conquered here. One castle goes down for the Britain's player here, and the foundation here still isn't finished and looks like a huge mess of fight here. Arbalest in the middle trying their best to focus down halves, but halberdiers are so cheap and the production is flowing steadily for Anwen here from the middle. And look at Tasty Potato committing his help as well, walling the middle of the map now. So this wall could extend all the way here, and they actually have a safe trade route on their side, at least up until here. At this stage of the game, Magnificent 2D could almost reclaim his own base and take some of the golds here as well, because now the army numbers are growing in favor of distant lands here. What's happening in Red Base? Good question. Arbalest raids from Britons, And Trebs continuing their push here. They took out the castle over here. And now focusing another castle of the Burmese player, and red oxen here with no military anymore, and the villager count dwindling. Arbalesters, Britain Arbalest, 5+6 range, no problem taking out TC. They're not Saracens with the bonus against building soul, and this brave gold mining old young man is going to run in the middle of the action and save his life here. TC goes down to Trebs and archers here. Oxen tries his best to escape, but he's running over here doing decent. It looks like Oxen is going to go out of this game, so I missed the action on this side. I was preoccupied with the elephants still alive on this side, by the way. But look at the Halberdier masses from Onwin here. MVP for his team, I think, providing units, but may or may not be struggling for gold at the moment because skirmers are running low. He has, let's look at the trade stats here if you can see any trade units. No trade for Onwin thus far either. The market is up, but the trade is not operational. Skirmishers certainly usually wouldn't do much against elephants, but considering it's Malay elephant with only the fuel range armor that they get after all, skirms would be okay. Yeah, player 5 going 78 says over there 1. On 78, that's the in-game taunt for attack the enemy with skirmishers. Skirmishers doing work here, taking out Britain's Arbalesters. This is a Frank skirm still dealing damage, and on the other side here, there's a Britain's mirror fighting going on. Oxen is actually brought more or less out of the game here with 62 villagers though, so he has some eco working for him still, but this is extremely exposed. Imagine some Franks, 3 Franks paladins running here, they could kill a lot of villagers. Little Tom manages to get the castle up though, so he's doing a great job from Britain's pocket here. His castle with Bracer reaches these Arbalesters here actually. Let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5, 6, 11, that's a similar range. But here comes some cap trams for Tasty Potato to help out here. So you might see this castle moving down. We see some walls here as well. Magnificent Duty is doing his best to contribute here. Mine walls are actually cheaper, stone walls are actually cheaper. So if someone slings Magnificent Duty on stone, or if he uses some stone, he could also stone wall this section. And as said, the trade route will be fine. Look at Magnificent Duty, 67 villagers now. Sort of getting back into it here, as Tasty Potato has taken control over the remaining gold from Oxen here. Could even drop a TC and take advantage of these farms here. Look at the numbers though, it's 37 with Little Tom, 36 for Tasty Potato, so if they stay somewhat on the same spot here, then they could arguably take similar fights. So let's look at the stats if they are the same as well. Looks like Tasty Potato is missing the last defense upgrade here. The, what is it, Ring Archer Armor or something? I don't remember the names exactly. And look at the ratings at Pinky's side here now. Score dropping rapidly here as his eco is being hit by some Trebs. Some Franks Paladins with +4 more or less fully upgraded here. They could easily take out this TC, and the eco of Pinky is not looking sharp at all either. Pinky and Oxen taken largely out of the game here. What a comeback from Onwin's teamer and Frank's pocket. Being undisturbed in the pocket, never ideal for the opposing team, and we see the LOL GG well played, and the initial forward of Cunning Linguist paid off for a while, but not nearly enough. They did take Teal completely out of the game for a while there. But Onwin, in exchange, gets the free boom, does his best to provide army from his pocket with his eco, and look at him being pop-capped as the only player as well. Hope you liked the rush. They're taunting a little bit about the first one. Ay. They were expecting both Arabine and Elephants, but maybe not the archers then from down here. From pocket actually, from the Britons. So they're playing on a little bit, but the GG has been called, so we're looking at the game ending any moment here soon. Pinky, okay, so Pinky was he just resigned, has called the GG. His team hasn't just yet, but surely this is over. And yeah, we have to commend Onwin and Tasty Potato playing 2 vs 3 for a long time here. And not neglecting the fact that Magnificent Duty now is at 101 population, is providing some army somewhere here. Skirmishers, elite skirmishers, albeit without any upgrades here, but army is army. could be a distraction, and also trying doing the reboom in between the bases and the sides here behind walls. So what a comeback. Great game on Arena here between these two 4th division teams, and congratulations to the winning team, Distant Lands here. Quick look at the stats, and then we'll be going to a couple of Division 1 games. Yeah, scores here on one MVP, absolutely here. Gets the medal for most valuable player as well. So same as Litwing Tong, who did a great pocket job playing Pocket Britons. You don't see that a lot, but he played it very nicely, taking the map control and providing. That was a ridiculous game indeed. Such a strong initial push. If I should say anything, I think the Cunning Linguist spent too much time on the flank here, trying to take Magnificent Duty completely out of the game, and rightfully so. But you know, if you kill enough villagers and take out some military production, just move on and try to hit Pocket, so to make sure that Pocket doesn't get the free boom. So there we go. We need to look at the ecos and uptimes here as well. Food, most for Andwen. Probably had a villager high as well with 132. Little Tom slightly behind. Britons have a great boom as well with their cheaper town centers. And the uptimes, looking at Oxen here, was almost among the latest player to the castle age here, but that was his double castle Iron by play, really boosting that Iron by production for him. Total castle 5 for Oxen, so he had the potential for lots of Iron by. Problem is, when you're up against Britons on the opposing team, you'd always risk running into Armblessed that could snipe you so easily. Look at the army numbers here. Onwell actually at the point of the elephants. Numbers increasing here, didn't really have any army at all, so that caught them off guard for sure.